Right, so I just finished watching the original Dark Crystals movie, and not to say I have questions, but I can honestly say I'm happy that they did bring out the Age of Resistance, because for someone like me, if I watched the Dark Crystal, that and that alone, I would be like, what on earth just happened? Fair enough, it's like an hour and a half film. I just watched it now, and it's fantastic, I will say. Dark Crystal is a fantastic film. I know a lot of people were saying, you know, that when they were younger they would watch this and it would be a somewhat scary, like the Return of Oz scary. Now that was creepy, but you know, maybe if I watched it when I was a young kid, I would be like, yeah, this kind of scared the shit out of me, but after seeing Age of Resistance and then going into Dark Crystal, it kind of put my mind at somewhat of an ease. I didn't find it really that scary as much. Okay, fair enough, the essence draining scenes, that was kind of ooh. And of course with the Dark Crystal movie as well, when you see one of the Skeksis killed with the face crumpled in and turned to ash and blah, and okay, back in the day that was some scary shit. And I see it and it's like, alright, that's fair enough. But honestly, it was quite a good film. It really was a good film. And definitely after watching Age of Resistance, it does kind of thread in a good story as well, to say, alright, this is what the Skeksis are, this is what the Gelfins are, and the Podlings. Because hell yeah, Podlings unite. And to watch that from the Netflix to the movie, it does kind of help out a lot for me to get into it more, because without Resistance I don't think I would have watched the Dark Crystal properly. Maybe just see snippets online, but that's about it. But to get that and then go into the movie, yeah, absolutely shit perfect. 1 minute till Steven Universe, 21 minutes to the movie. I'm gonna watch all the gems go in a movie in 21 minutes.
Chill until then. I know you can do this. Do it.
I don't wanna chill! Ah! It's on next. And I just watched the last episode that was on, well, last season. Oh, still got me going again. It fucking did it again. Oh god, Rebecca Sugar. Team of Steven Universe, the movie. Bravo. And literally I do say it because it was just one big music number, and bravo. Bravissimo. With that, yeah, that's weird, I just came into here. So with that, going forward, I want to talk about the Steven Universe movie and just basically give my review on it. And I will say this now, guys, there is going to be spoilers, so you have been warned. And if you have not seen the movie yet, you got two options. Either just skip today's video, or you can pause the video, go sit down on the sofa, pop on Steven Universe the movie, watch it, and then come back to me. It's like an hour, maybe hour and a half. No, it's more than an hour. Yeah, it's an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. Pure beauty and magicalness. And it's worth watching, guys. I mean, as well as that, it was commercial free with Cartoon Network. And, oh my god. It was awesome. So, the movie. Absolutely now, for those who have just been experiencing Steven Universe throughout the entirety of the running of show on Cartoon Network, now you're coming into this now just amazed, as always, of what to expect. That, yes, this whole film is a musical. And everyone is kind of obvious to know that it is a musical. And even just to begin with as well, for those who have not seen Steven Universe and been living, you know, in the kindergarten, little gem joke there, but who have never seen Steven Universe and are coming into this thinking, what the hell's going on? What's quite nice about it as well, that at the beginning of the film, and even into the first musical number, actually the first two musical numbers of this film, you know, you are graced by some excellent freaking singing, in which you have Lisa Hannigan, Patti LuPone, and I've forgotten the third name now, Christine Ebersole. There we go. Christine Ebersole, Patti LuPone, and Lisa Hannigan. Three excellent singers in which play the diamonds of white, blue, and yellow. And then obviously then Steven being the pink diamond, although he doesn't sing. Now, hearing that at the beginning with the first two numbers and hearing these three diamonds sing is so beautifully heavenly and so excellent, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was just like screaming like, oh my god, this sounds so good. And I know already about Patti LuPone and Christine Ebersole, in which I'm going to be looking back now because I'm like, because I can't remember the name off by heart. But those two I know because Christine Ebersole was the mother in Richie Rich with Macaulay Culkin, and Patti LuPone, Jesus Christ, Patti LuPone is just a fantastic singer from Broadway to the West End. And yeah, Christine and Patti, they both had a number together with, well, they had a couple, but in the show War Paint, in which, there was a number in there in which was so awesome. Face to Face, they both sing that together, and it's like, oh, it's so beautiful. But to hear three of them singing together and just having that booming, it's so freaking good. Anyway, jumping ahead. Now, it's round about a year later. Steven is now 16 years old, and you can tell that he has grown, not only with his physicality, but also his personality, and including as well his voice, because the voice acting for Steven Universe is getting older. And yeah, you're going to hear the difference from what you heard in the show to what you heard in the movie. And you know what? It's freaking fantastic. I like it. So, definitely the music's going through and transitioning back to Beach City, and just seeing this construction of now crystals and humans living together and cooperating and coinciding with one another is so fantastic. And to see New Homeworld, yes, New Homeworld is being built. I believe it's in the same place where the barn was in the series as well. So you see the crystals having their own little civilization near Beach City, and just hearing the story as well. Like I said, for those who are new to this, you get an idea of what goes on because you have the musical number where you hear a story from Steve, you hear a story from Pearl, Garnet and Amethyst, and you hear how they came to be part of the Crystal Gems, and it is so awesome. And you think, oh, this is fantastic, it's going to be a happily ever after type of thing. See, my brain's already... you think it's all happily ever after? Yeah, for a split second, because we are given the introduction to the villain of this movie, in which kind of really was an interesting play for this villain, because you never know why they're attacking Steven or they want to destroy the world. That is her intention, but her gem is an upside down heart, and her name is Spinel. And you think, okay, so what's good? What's so good about her that you want to talk to her in a good way? The way they designed Spinel is a 1920s sort of cartoon character, like the same you would see with Cupheads and all the old Looney Tunes 1920s cartoons where they're like you have all of that in there, and it looks so freaking awesome. And yeah, she is there to take out Steven and the team and to destroy all life on Earth as we know it. So, what happens? Well, Spinel kicks their ass and uses a freaking awesome energy weapon of a scythe, in which you see cut through the gems easily. But the power was that not only does she poof the gems, but also it goes back into their factory settings. So you see Pearl acting as the, you know, a pearl for, well, Greg Universe, because he picked up the gem and it got imprinted onto him to be known as a Greg Universe, the now new owner of the pearl. And then you see then Sapphire and Ruby coming into play, where they play back their regular part, and then Amethyst being just Amethyst, a younger version of herself. All memories wiped, doesn't know who Steven is or what's going on. So it's up to Steven just to bring back all of their memories and to make sure that everything is fine and dandy, and just to get everything sorted and to make sure that the world doesn't get destroyed by Spinel. Now, while this happens as well, we are introduced to a few musical numbers as well, a few comedy moments as well, because Spinel even gets poofed and set back to a factory setting. So you see her going back into the happy, now straightforward heart piece, and just seeing her being a goofy best friend to Steven Universe, in which at the time was the best friend to Pink Diamond. Now, we get some nice good comedy moments, slapstick moments, everyone's slowly getting their memory back. And one of the best fucking memory backs I have seen was for Pearl, when everything's going on. There's a rock concert going in, and they have to try and find pieces to try and get the memories back into play for each of the crystals. Now for Pearl, the last piece that she had was, well, when Rose Quartz disappears and becomes Steven and falls in love. Well, not even falls in love, but Rose Quartz falls in love with Greg. You know, they have that moment together and such, and you think, okay, what's going on? So the message was for her, you know, the last piece was that Rose disappeared from her life and became Steven. So we are introduced to, and I couldn't believe they fucking did this, Greg and Steven fusing. And can I just say, what do we call him? Grieven? Stag? Basically turns into just a fucking long-haired, abs-crunching, you can grill a fucking steak off rockstar stud, and it's like, oh my sweet Jesus God, this is awesome. So everyone is slowly getting their memories back now, going further into the story. We slowly get to understand why Spinel is doing this, why the villain is doing this, and we learn her story. And is taking Steven to Pink Diamond's garden. Now this garden is run down, moss everywhere, it looks just deserted and dreaded. And the reason why, because obviously, you know, everything that goes wrong with Steven's life is because of Pink Diamond or Rose Quartz, and he has no idea what's going on until we find out that Spinel's backstory, it isn't about, you know, trying to be the best or anything. It was that she was abandoned by Pink Diamond. When Pink Diamond was given her own world to colonize, she basically couldn't take Spinel. And instead of breaking her heart to say, oh yeah, you can't come with me, I gotta go now, boom, she ended up abandoning her by saying, let's play a game. And that became one of the musical numbers where the game was, you stand perfectly still. And then she left, leaving Spinel in this garden for 6,000 years, in which issued then abandonment issues. And they discussed that topic on abandonment issues on this movie, and it was so moving as well to think, you know, at first you think, oh my God, Spinel, I just want to throttle you, but then after you hear her story of what happened, you just want to give her the biggest hug ever. And it is so moving and so sad to hear what had happened, but, you know, everything in between, and with Steven slowly losing his powers as well because he got slashed by this scythe. And his human side was fine, it's just the diamond side. So they had a lot of work there. So skip it now because I don't want to go into full detail, because that was like a bit of a hard moment for me because the abandonment issue is a bitch. But yep, ending came up. We see that it is a very nice happy ending. We see that the diamonds come back in, they sing their song, but instead of just beckoning to Steven, because it was basically the story about, hey Steven, you should be living here on Homeworld with us and be the new Pink Diamond of the world. You have been fantastic and you saved the universe and such. Instead, after seeing Spinel, they think, oh my God, she's precious, it's something that reminds us of Pink Diamond, we would like to take you with us. And the movie ends with one more musical number, and that was it, the end. But it was a freaking musical number because you see, you know, the main cast just going down doing Fred Astaire, top hats, feathery butts and tuxedos and such, and then you see the curtains close and just going into that big standing ovation. And even Spinel said at one point during a fight with Steven that not everything can be, and this was a fourth wall break, not everything that you can say can be solved by singing a stupid song. That, I was like, oh my God, that is just hilarious. It was all awesome. Steven Universe really is the best thing to have come out for this generation, and we needed Steven Universe. If anyone asked me now, if you can categorize Steven Universe in one word, what would it be? And I can honestly say diversity. There is a lot of talk and discussions which go into the Steven Universe frame, into this series, or the story of Steven Universe, because you have stories like, you know, being abandoned, not feeling as though you belong, you know, feeling as though being different is bad. And this show as a whole is basically telling you it's okay to be different. You are not alone. You don't ever have to be abandoned. We're there for you and we care for you. And it has a lot of love in this story. I mean, you hear everyone's story from, you know, falling in love with someone in which you feel as though you shouldn't be falling in love with, to up to days where, hell, you get yourself some LGBTQ goodness of a marriage of two gems, and both female, so you get yourself, you know, that LGBT love of just being there for one another. And I love that. Rebecca Sugar definitely has gone above and beyond, not only with the story, but not only with the movie story, but with the story of Steven Universe. And everyone that has been involved with the series and with this movie is done a fantastic job. It is fantastic and superb, and is definitely that Steven Universe is one of the main flagships that should go forward for diversity, for the LGBTQ community, and just to show that love conquers all. But yeah, that's technically my review on the Steven Universe movie, with my little thoughts at the end for the entirety. Did I enjoy it? Yes. Do I want them to bring out a soundtrack of the movie? I'm still waiting for them to drop the soundtrack. I will be more than happy to throw my wallet and say, give me the soundtrack now. Please? I'll pay by card.